Hello everyone, welcome to the second video for the ultimate review for APUSH. This period spans from 1607 to 1754, and as a student who got a 5 on the AP exam last year, I think these slides would be very beneficial for you guys, and I'm just going to make these videos and as a series, so stay tuned for all 9 videos for each unit. If you guys want to take a look at all the slides, I have it linked in my channel description on YouTube. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and let's get into this. So some of the big themes in this period include the 1607 Jamestown establishment, and as it's the first permanent English colony, the 1754 is the start of the French and Indian War, and regional differences in newly established English colonies, growth of slavery and racial hierarchies, colonial culture and autonomy, British mercantilism, and colonial resistance. Regional colonies, geography and culture, New England colonies, founded by Puritans seeking religious freedom and economic opportunity, small towns, close family ties in town meetings, such as the Mayflower Compact, economy, subsistence, farming, fishing, trade, shipbuilding, loss of high literacy and education, and there was rocky soil. Middle colonies, diverse colonies made up of English, Dutch, Germans, Quakers in Pennsylvania, fertile soil, which led to wheat and grain, and the nickname is Red Basket colonies, more religious and ethnic tolerance, the Chesapeake colonies and southern colonies, Jamestown, cash crops such as tobacco, rice, indigo, plantation economies, indentured servants, later African slavery, hierarchy made up of planters, poor whites, and slaves. Anglican church dominant, and the soil is very fertile here. European motives and competition. So England, mercantilism, raw materials and markets, permanent family-based settlement, Protestant, less missionary than Spain, France, primarily due to fur trade and alliances with natives, very sparse population and mated with natives for trading reasons. Spain, missions and forts in southwest and Florida, conversion and ultimate control of the natives, resisted by Pueblo revolt. Dutch, they made the New Amsterdam in New York, massive hub for trade and tolerance, alliance with Iroquois. Labor systems include indentured servants and slavery. Indentured servitude, Europeans who worked for 47 years in exchange for a passage to the colonies since it was very difficult and expensive. You have the headright system, which was 50 acres per servant, declined after the infamous Bacon's Rebellion. So African slavery increased after 1676, racialized and hereditary. Slave codes legalized lifelong slavery through family slavery. The dreaded Middle Passage. It was a brutal transatlantic journey that killed many slaves in the process. And the triangular trade, it was from Europe, Africa, and America. Because of Bacon's Rebellion, colonists started to fear future potential uprisings from indentured servants and figured that African slaves would do the job better and without any trouble. Colonial society and culture, religion and ideas. The First Great Awakening, which happened in 1730s, it was an emotional and religious revival of faith. Main preachers include Jonathan Edwards and George Whitefield, and it challenged church authority and led to more diversity. So the Virginia House of Burgesses, the Mayflower Compact, and New England town meetings, these are all signs of individual government, and solitary neglect, it allowed these governments to flourish. And solitary neglect's basically Britain just leaving the colonies on their own and allowing them to develop. Culture, literacy high in New England, such because of newspapers and pamphlets, colleges like Harvard, Yale, and Princeton. Conflicts in native relations. Native relations, tensions as English expanded land westward, Powhatan Wars, early 1600s, led to reservations. New England settlers destroyed Paiute tribe. The King Philip's War, Metacom's War. Wampanoags resisted New England, thousands killed, tribes were devastated. The further westward the settlers expanded, the more conflicts arose. Imperial rivalries. France and Britain competed for native allies, while Spain faced lots of resistance in the southwest. British imperial policies and colonial resistance. Mercantilism. Colonies served British economy. Navigation acts restricted trade mainly to British ports. Salutary neglect. Britain preoccupied with European wars. Colonies self-governed themselves and adopted the identity of independence from Britain. Many colonists validated this by stating that since they are on an entire separate continent, Britain should leave them alone. Colonial response. Resentment of British interference grew because of navigation acts and other interventions. So, for this unit, these are the main vocabs you should memorize, and if you guys want to pause here and memorize them, feel free to do so. And then these are some of the key historical thinking skills. You guys want to start thinking about like the cause and effect relationships, the continuity, comparisons, because it'll be very important for the AP exam. So that wraps up APUSH Unit 2. No, okay. Key historical thinking skills. So you guys want to kind of start thinking about this for the AP test. You're going to want to think about causation, continuity, and change, effects, and comparison. This will suit you well for the AP test when you have to talk about this in your essays or your short answer questions. So that wraps up the ultimate review for Unit 2. I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for future videos about APUSH, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for watching.